You are not bad with money. You are just playing a game nobody taught you the rules to. Think about last week. You skipped something. A trip with friends, a concert, a weekend away, because you told yourself you needed to save. You put the money in your account, felt responsible for about 10 minutes, and then watched 3 hours of Netflix feeling vaguely empty. Sound familiar? Because that is not discipline. That is fear dressed up as wisdom. Here is what nobody in personal finance will tell you. There is a version of being financially responsible that is secretly destroying your life. And millions of people are living it right now, thinking they are doing everything right, while quietly wasting the years they will never get back. Here's the fact that should stop you cold. Researchers studying end-of-life regrets found that the #1 thing people wish they had done more of was not work harder, not save more, not climb higher. It was experience more, not things. Experiences, moments, people. And the cruel irony is that most of them had the money. They just kept saving it for a tomorrow that looked different than today, and tomorrow kept getting pushed further away until there was no tomorrow left. By the end of this video, you are going to have a completely different relationship with time, money, and what it actually means to live well. Not richer, not more disciplined, actually free, in a way that most people your age will never be, because nobody ever showed them this. So stay with me, because what I am about to share with you changed how I think about every single dollar I earn and every single day I have. Now let me introduce you to the villain in this story. And it is not you. You were handed a script the moment you started understanding money. Save for later. Be responsible. Do not be irresponsible. Delay gratification. Grind now. Enjoy later. Every ad, every parent conversation, every personal finance guru on the internet has been repeating the same message in different fonts. Accumulate more, spend less, wait. And look, saving is not bad. The problem is what that message leaves out. It never tells you when later is. It never tells you what enough looks like. It never builds in the cost of waiting. The financial industry profits when you accumulate. Banks profit when you save. The system is not designed around your happiness. It is designed around your accumulation. And you have been optimizing for accumulation without ever asking whether that is actually the goal. You are not lazy. You are not irresponsible. You are not bad at adulting. You have just been following a map that was drawn for someone else's destination. But here is the good news. There is a different way, and someone actually did the math on it. The concept at the heart of what I am about to share is this. Your life is not a savings account. It is a series of experiences, and experiences have seasons. And when you understand that, you will never think about money the same way again. This is not a natural talent some people are born with. This is a skill, a mindset, a framework. It is like learning to drive. Before someone explained the rules, a car was just a terrifying machine. After 20 hours of practice, it became freedom. That is exactly what this is. You already know how to learn hard things. You have done it 100 times. This is just one more. The book that cracked this open for me is called Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. Perkins is an energy trader who made millions, spent millions, and sat down one day and did the actual math on what a well-lived life looks like when you optimize for memory and experience rather than net worth. And what he found will genuinely rearrange something in your brain. Let's get into it. The first thing Perkins argues, and this hit me harder than I expected, is that your time and your health are not constants. They are depreciating assets. Right now, if you are between 15 and 35, you are sitting on the most valuable combination of resources you will ever have in your entire life. Energy, time, relatively low responsibility, and enough income or access to create experiences. That combination, it has an expiration date, not because life gets bad later, but because your body changes, your obligations multiply, and the things you can do at 22 become harder at 45 and impossible at 68. Perkins calls this the Health-Time-Money Trilemma. When you are young, you have health and time, but limited money. When you are middle-aged, you have money and some health, but limited time. When you are old, you might have money, but health and time are gone. The sweet spot is not some magical future moment. The sweet spot has windows. And right now, you are inside one of them. So what do you do with that today? You make a list, seriously, right now after this video, of one experience you have been putting off because of money or timing. One thing. And you figure out the minimum version of it you could do in the next 30 days. Not perfect. Minimum. Because a minimum version of the experience is infinitely more valuable than the perfect version you never have. Here's the second thing, and this one is going to feel uncomfortable at first. Perkins introduces this idea of memory dividends, and once you understand it, you will start making decisions completely differently. Every experience you have pays you back in memories, and memories compound over time just like money does. When you are sitting at 60 years old, the trip you took at 22 does not just live as one memory. It lives as decades of stories, feelings, identity, perspective, and connection. That weekend road trip you did 3 years ago, you are still telling that story. You are still drawing warmth from it. That is a return on investment that your savings account will never match. Meanwhile, the Saturday you stayed home to be responsible and save $40, gone. No memory, no dividend, nothing in the account. And look, I will be honest, I spent 2 full years doing exactly this. Staying home, being smart, watching my friends go on trips, I skipped because I was afraid. And I do not have a single memory from that period that I would trade anything for. I have regret. That is what I accumulated. So here is the action. Next time you are deciding whether to spend money on an experience with people you love, do not just ask what it costs. Ask what memory dividend it will pay you over the next 10 years, and then make your decision. Now here is where it gets really interesting. Perkins talks about something called net fulfillment, which is different from net worth. Net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. Net fulfillment is your experiences minus your regrets. And most people, especially the ones who are technically winning financially, have a massive net fulfillment deficit. They have money, they have stuff, they have the responsible adult checklist completed, and they feel hollow because they optimized for the wrong number. The goal is not to die with the most money. The goal, and this is literal, Perkins means it literally, is to die with zero. To spend your resources on experiences in a way that by the end of your life, you have converted all that potential energy into actual living. Now, obviously, this does not mean blow every paycheck. It means be intentional. It means ask what you are saving for and when you plan to actually use it. What is your action today? Write down one thing you are currently saving toward and ask yourself honestly, when do I actually plan to use or do this? If the answer is vague, that is a problem you just identified. Okay, let us go deeper. Perkins makes this argument that most people completely misunderstand the role of money at different life stages. He talks about time buckets. The idea is simple. Your life is not one long, flat timeline. It is a series of distinct chapters, and each chapter has different capabilities, different interests, and different costs. A 20-year-old and a 60-year-old can both go to Italy, but the experiences will be completely different. The 20-year-old can sleep in hostels, stay out until 4 in the morning, hike volcanoes, do the trip on almost nothing. The 60-year-old might need business class, a good hotel, a slower pace. Neither is wrong. But the cost to create fulfillment at 60 is dramatically higher than the cost at 20, which means every dollar you spend on experience now creates more fulfillment per dollar than the same dollar spent later. You are essentially getting a discount on joy by spending it young. So here is what you do. Think about the next 5 to 10 years of your life as a specific bucket. What experiences are only possible in this bucket? What do you need to do now that will be harder or impossible or just different later? Write that down. That is your priority list. That is where your discretionary spending should be going first. Now, I want to address the fear underneath all of this, because I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds irresponsible. What about emergencies? What about retirement? And here is where Perkins is really careful, because he is not saying, do not plan. He is saying, optimize the plan. He is a strong advocate for knowing your personal survival number, the minimum amount you need in savings to feel genuinely secure, and making sure you hit that number. But anything above that number that you are not actively planning to spend on something specific, that is not savings. That is hoarding life energy out of fear. There is a difference between a financial cushion and a psychological prison, and a lot of people have crossed into prison territory without realizing it. The action today, figure out your survival number. Not a vague, I should have more saved feeling, an actual number. 3 months of expenses? 6 months? Name it. Hit it. And then give yourself permission to actually live with the rest. Here is the 6th thing Perkins talks about, and it surprised me the most. He argues that giving money away while you are alive, to people you love, to causes you care about, is dramatically more powerful than leaving it behind when you die. Most people have this inheritance fantasy where they imagine leaving something behind for their kids or their family. But Perkins does the math and points out that if your kids are going to inherit money when they are 55, you have missed the entire window where that money would have changed their lives. If you want to help someone you love, help them at 25 when they are struggling, not at 55 when they are already settled. Give experiences, not estates. Live to see the impact. That is a memory dividend for you and for them. What can you do today? Think of one person in your life who could benefit from your time, your resources, or your connection right now. Not later, now. Do something small but real for them this week. Let me tell you about someone who actually lived this before it had a name. There was a woman, a school teacher in the Midwest, who spent her entire career being incredibly careful with money. She drove an old car, she clipped coupons, she saved dutifully every month. She told herself that when she retired, she would travel. When she retired, she would relax. When she retired, everything she had deferred would finally happen. She retired at 67. Within 8 months, she was diagnosed with a condition that made long travel difficult. The trips she had imagined, Europe, Southeast Asia, New Zealand, became complicated, then impossible. She had the money. She had hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in accounts she had built over 40 years. She just did not have her health. She did not have her energy. She did not have the version of herself that would have loved those trips. She told her niece, who wrote about this, that her biggest regret was not the trips she did not take. It was that she had spent so much of her life postponing joy as a form of virtue. She had confused delay with discipline, and by the time she stopped delaying, the window had closed. If that story landed somewhere in your chest, it is because you already know somewhere underneath all the noise that you are not guaranteed tomorrow. You are not guaranteed your health. You are not guaranteed the version of yourself who wants the things you want right now. The question is whether you are going to act on that knowledge or file it away and keep doing what you were doing. So here is your challenge, and I mean right now, not after dinner, not this weekend. Right now, pick one experience. It does not have to be big. It does not have to cost much that you have been putting off. It could be a day trip. It could be calling someone you miss. It could be buying tickets to something you have been watching from the outside. And commit to making it happen in the next 2 weeks. Set a date. Tell someone about it. Make it real. Because the moment you convert intention into a plan, something shifts in your brain. You stop being someone who thinks about living and you start being someone who actually does it. That feeling, that is what this whole video has been pointing toward. And it starts with one small move you make today. Now close your eyes for a second. Seriously, just for a moment. And picture yourself 5 years from now. Not the version of you that played it safe and accumulated responsibly and woke up wondering where the years went. The other version, the one who said yes more, who showed up for the moments that mattered, who took the trips, had the conversations, made the memories that you are still drawing warmth from at 30 or 40 or 50. Picture your career. You are doing work that energizes you because somewhere along the way you invested in figuring out who you actually are instead of who you were supposed to be. Picture your relationships. They are deeper, more real, more full of shared history because you chose to show up and spend time and resources on the people who matter instead of hoarding everything for a future that never quite arrived. Picture how you feel when you wake up. Not perfect. Life is not perfect, but full. Like you are actually participating in your own story instead of watching it happen through a screen while you wait for real life to begin. That version of you is not a fantasy. That version is the logical outcome of the choices you make starting today. And everything you just learned from Die with Zero is a tool to help you get there. Not by spending recklessly, by spending intentionally. By understanding that your resources, all of them, time, health, money, attention, are meant to be converted into a life. Not stored, converted. Here is what I want you to know before you go. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not someone who needs to be fixed before you deserve to live fully. You are someone who never got shown this map before. And now, you have it. The ability to build a full, rich, memory-rich life. It was always inside you. The only thing missing was the framework to organize it. You are capable of this. You have always been capable of this. The version of you who takes this seriously, who makes the list, who books the thing, who gives while alive, who stops hoarding life energy out of fear, that person is not some future you who has it all figured out. That is you, choosing differently, starting right now. If this shifted something for you, if you felt it land somewhere real, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Like this video, subscribe if you want more of this on this channel. We go deep here, every time. And come back, because we are just getting started. You only get one run at this. Make it count.